Hello and welcome back to your Part 5 ACCA SBL September 2024 Pre-Scene Analysis Notes video. My name is James and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to get access to all of my free resources, which you can see on the screen here. We have my SBL notes. If you'd like access to those, click the link in the description of this video and you can get a copy for your phone to show your friends, whoever it may be on there. Along with the notes, which are going to help me to pass, are doing some mock papers to time, and I'm delighted to say I'm affiliated with Astranti, who will actually give you a free analysis pack for your ACCA SBL exam. Again, the link is down in the description, check it out down there, and for pure transparency, as always, on the channel, if you were to purchase anything through Astranti, as an associate, I would be entitled to a small commission, but again, it's just to support the channel and I want to be completely transparent with you guys as always. And just to say a massive thank you for all of your support for the channel as ever, because wow, we've got a lot of information, as I'm sure you've already seen. If you haven't checked out the previous videos, make sure you get onto those. But now we're getting on to Beago's staff. This is a really sort of, when I read it through, first of all, I went, what could we get here on the exam day? And I went, perhaps Zembi's information may be provided. It's nothing has been shown in the pre-scene, so it'll be completely unseen information on the exam day to compare Beago to, maybe about efficiencies, how they utilise their staff. And then I went, well, why would they tell us that over 50% of their staff are employed in the research, product management, data science areas? I've done the maths, you can see it on there. So those three areas total up to 2,664 employees based on the information. And we've got a large proportion of the staff are actually in strategic roles on there, looking at the future, the products, all to help the customers out. And they also, you can see on the note there, no sick pay for drivers as they're not recognised as employees. That's the third time I think I've seen it in the pre-scene notes. Just to be clear that they are not employees on there. They are contractors, they come in and they are not entitled to things like annual leave or sick pay. And one of the areas for theories in the SBL exam, it's really important for you to note down, is Porter's value chain. And what that is all about, the value of the inputs and outputs of a business in order to provide the most amount of value to the customers, the people who receive the products or service. And in this case, you go, well, maybe there might be some Porter's value chain analysis on the different functions. I'm just thinking of where it could fit in and the different options, but it looks like, over 5,000 employees, a significant amount, with just being crystal clear, the drivers of Beago are not employees. Speaking of people who do work for Beago, we had then the senior leadership team. And again, we're not given much on there, we're just told the titles. But the key thing for you to get down, as it's a listed company, a PLC, for a PLC, a listed company, you need to have at least half of the board, excluding the chairman, to actually comprise of independent non-executive directors, which you should note for a compliance basis they actually have on there. Now, the key thing on your exam day is you might actually be given the names of maybe one of the directors on there, or they could actually maybe appoint someone else to be on the board, and then you've got to think about the ratios between NEDs to executive directors. But if they do give you a name on the exam day, link it back to that senior leadership structure, understand what their position is and what their role is in the organisation. What I'm getting at there is students fail to pick up on marks on the SBL exam because they're not specific enough in the areas they're referring to. So let's take, for example, the Chief People Officer. If there was an ethics issue, which there is going to be somewhere in your exam, then the Chief People Officer is the member of the team on the senior leadership structure who is accountable for areas that involve ethics on there, sort of an equivalent HR. So again, just to be aware of little things like that, reading between the lines and just making sure you apply those different areas. And lastly, we touched on it in the episode 1 of our analysis, but it was a case of this could also link to agency theory involving, well, maybe some of the directors are wanting to go and the leadership team are wanting to go one way, but the shareholders are wanting to go another. So make sure you get that down in your notes. Next, we'll come on to the theories. This is, again, another one of the areas where students will pass or fail this exam. And I've just broken down for you there the key theories and elements of the pre-scene information I think overlap with PESTEL, Porter's 5 forces and SWOT analysis seem to be the 3 most common ones that I found going through this. You can have a read through yourself, but politically, regulation, local authorities and the government all involved in a variety of different areas. Economic points, they've touched on the economy actually going down and having an impact on customer spending. Social factors and people are really the key of the customers, the drivers, some of the stakeholders, but also trade unions and drivers as contractors. As we said, they're self-employed. Technology is just everywhere in this. Data, computer systems, apps, driverless cars. Be on your toes for which area they may throw at you and link it to the particular area of the pre-scene materials. Environmental, because it is a car-based industry, emissions being very high on the agenda list, government and also other stakeholder pressures, and not overlooking the last part, the law and risk issues under the legal L for non-compliance, fines, data breaches, safety of drivers and customers. There's a lot to go at on PESTEL, I think, again, but I don't have that crystal ball. You can have a little look at Porter's 5 forces. Buyer power, supplier power, not given too much on that, but competitive rivalry, substitute options and threats of new entries are definitely prominent there. So you could get more supplier and buyer information on the exam day if they were to test it. But more likely, I think, is a sort of SWOT analysis with a bit of evaluation. Some of the strengths that we're looking at here in terms of Beago, established in 250 cities on there, second largest firm and growing. Some weaknesses about new competitors entering the market and some of the revenue streams and segments they actually haven't tapped into. Opportunities wise, I mean, who knows what they could ask you on that, but you've got so much to go on. International expansion, loyalty schemes, potentially overtaking as the market leader, and threats. New multinational companies, it's a prosperous market on there. Technology advances, smaller firms taking market share. Do not overlook it. Other areas of the SBL syllabus, again, can come up, has come up in the past. Porter's value chain analysis and Porter's diamond analysis. So in terms of the value chain, I just touched on it above with the employees as to the inputs and outputs trying to provide the most amount of value and analysing the particular different areas so that that product that they give to the customer at the end is the best possible quality on there in terms of value. The diamond factor are the 4 pillars on there, shaping strategy about the investing and operating of the business, which I'm sure as you've watched all the videos through, you go, they've been investing in cycling on there, they've been doing that, they've been operating in 250 places, they're going to be probably expanding again because they're growing. So Porter's diamond, don't overlook it on there. You've got the demand conditions that are affecting the business, you've got other factors such as the economy, to be considering for the conditions on there. You've got the demand conditions, factor conditions, strategy structure of the rivals as well. How are they performing, which we can see from Zemby is actually decreasing, and other supporting industries. We could get thrown more information on the exam day. Last but not least, we've got ANSOS matrix on the side, all about growth and opportunities. Again, I think if it was going to come up, it would be something to do with the board of directors, which we've not been given too much information. But the variables you've got to be looking out for there are the existing versus new markets. You can have a look in your tuition packs on this to see the diagram for it. And then you've also got existing versus new products. So products and markets are the 2 variables, and you've got to be thinking of market development, diversification, market penetration, or product development as the actual outcome and strategy that the board should be looking to implement on there. Sorry, lots to go through. Important stuff. But you can see as I'm saying to it, you're going, that's got a chance of coming up, hasn't it? We then come on to the extracts of Beago's risk register. Do not overlook these. We'll just go through them one by one. So we've got reputation, brand and culture. So that's going to link into the website extracts you can see on the side with their vision, values and mission. Be sure to quote those as well in your actual answers. Links to Beago's mission statement, as you can see. it's all pretty good on there. They've got a strong reputation, safe and affordable. The only area of greyness was the driver satisfaction has been decreasing year on year though. So again, not all perfect, but that would harm some of the reputation and branding. In terms of areas of theory, it's linking back to PESTLE again, where we have the social and legal factors about the driver's safety, illegal activities, and they love to throw in real world situations like social media, news articles that could get leaked on there, where you have to evaluate it and provide your professional opinion. So refer back to those values and missions and quote them back to say, is it agreeing with it or is it actually not? Where do they need to improve on that? Failure to maintain culture, which employees value and wish to work within. So again, we've got more PESTLE social factors that you could refer back to in the risk register. Technology, which you would expect from this sort of app-based, web-based organization, comes up again. From a technology factor, they've got about security breaches, unauthorized access, and make sure you're aware of this, that they are not in control of, as you can see on there, their cloud service provider, as it's a third party. But then it ensures it maintains sufficient investment in systems and security reliability. So Beago don't actually control that in terms of their third-party cloud-based service. That is someone else, and we might be given more information on the exam day. Competition-wise, as we come down to the bottom here, we then have economic factors about new entrants, rapid changes on there, competitive position, and really points think back to the senior leadership team there. If you get something about the competition factors, well, that's going to be for the CEO, the CFO, as to saying, have we got the resources and what is our strategy going to be to compete with taxi cabs, public transport, other businesses on there that want to take our market share. We then have the licensing and industry regulations. Do not underestimate this point. This is from the local authorities because it's only in Beelan where they're operating and it's on a city by city basis. If the local authority does not grant the licenses for the actual company Beago, then they have a massive impact on their sales and the way that they actually operate. So do not underestimate it from a customer and safety point of view. It's only going to impact on quality, profitability, and also recruiting drivers on there. And last but not least, you can see at the bottom of these notes that link into the risk register, and I wanted to include it because the external examiner notes this in their report every year, that ethics is going to be on your exam. It's embedded on there. If you're watching this and you've got time to do your ethics and professional skills module, brilliant. But most students who are watching this have probably got the exam in less than a week. The key thing here is, one, applying the code of ethics to the scenario is one, integrity, objectivity, not being biased, honest as you would expect, professional behaviour, selecting which area of the code of ethics has been breached on there, and then lastly, apply, actually use the words, use the actual points on there to be referring it to professional behaviour, using the word integrity. That is what the market is going to want to see, and that is how you're going to pick up on the marks, especially if you link it back to the scenario and the keynotes that we've got on here for those particular areas, because that is what is going to set you apart, breaking up your answers. And then last but not least, whilst we're touching on the point of ethics, is when you're going through the requirements, try to pick up on the key buzzwords that the examiner is using as well, and use those to shape your answer back. Make sure you plan your answer out and refer back to some of the pre-scene notes that we've gone through in today's video. And that takes us through part 5, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe so you get access to all the videos. Click the link down below so you can download these notes, and along with checking out Astranti's free pack and any mock papers you want to check out. And I'll see you on the other side now for part 6. So thank you very much.